Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my series, Let's Talk About Books. Today we are going to talk about a very popular series which I read a while ago, and these are also books that I've read quite a few times, and it is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I am currently in the middle of reading, well, I say in the middle of, I'm very close to the end of reading the first book in the Crescent City series, and it reminded me of why I love her books so much. So I thought, why don't I film a video about the books that made me fall in love with her writing in the first place? And that was A Court of Thorns and Roses. The first time I read this book, it was one that my library recommended to me as an ebook. It was when I was really into reading a lot of ebooks, and I have read this first book at least 6 times. This series is one that I connected with so deeply. I borrowed it from the library a couple of times, and then one year for my birthday, I gifted myself with buying the set of books. And as you can see, this is only 4 of the books because I had to pre-order the last book, which I have in a hardcover. And so I've loved these books for quite a while. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them and why I love them, and just, I guess, get on the bandwagon of how great Sarah J. Maas's writing is. She definitely deserves all of the hype around her writing. They're so easy to read. Like I said, I'm in the first book, the Crescent City series. Since it came out in 2021, it's been on my list of books to read. I've just had a lot going on in my life, and I recently picked it up from the bookstore, and it's been maybe 4 days, and I am almost done with an 800-page book. So it says a lot about her writing and her storytelling that I have been so engaged with her books. So A Court of Thorns and Roses. This original book is based on the Beauty and the Beast legend, roughly, and it's where I really fell in love with the characters. And Farah is a character that's so relatable that you want to connect with as a reader, that it engages you in a way that wants you to keep reading. So I've read, like I said, this specific book probably about 6 times, and I only reread books that make me feel something, and this book definitely did. However, my favorite book in this series is actually the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. This book, the first time I read it, left me with feelings that I felt for days after I finished this book. It was so raw and so engaging that I could not stop thinking about this book. This book specifically is a 5+ star read for me. If a book makes me think about it for days after I've read it, that's what constitutes a 5-star read for me. So the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, was that for me. And then, of course, A Court of Mist and Ruin really wrapped up that whole original trilogy. There's, again, so much feeling, so much connectedness with the characters. You feel the things that the characters are feeling, and it's just characters that you want to be, you're rooting for them, both in good ways and bad ways. And then there's the novella that bridges the series. Again, this is just like a light, fun read. It connects you more to their world after the main trilogy. And then when A Court of Silver Flames came out, I pre-ordered this book because I loved the series so much. When I got it in the mail, I read it in 2 days. This book is, I think, about 800 pages. Let's see, how many pages is it? Just under 800 pages, so like 750-ish pages. I read it in 2 days. And again, the characters I feel so connected to, that I'm rooting for. And especially Nesta is a character that I feel like I can connect to a lot. There's definitely qualities of her that I feel like anybody can connect to. I've reread this book a couple of times, and it's definitely a book that I will pick up and reread again. And just, again, picking up her newer series, Sarah J. Maas's newer series, and reading it, it reminded me of why I love her writing so much. So I think eventually I will pick up this series again and reread it. However, in the meantime, I've definitely been lending out these books to other people and letting them connect with the characters in the same way that I have. But this has been my Let's Talk About Books, A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I will see you next time. Thanks you so much for watching. Bye.